The following is a clip from a conversation I had with a collector named Matt, who goes by basketballcardcollector93 on Instagram. At the end of this episode, which was episode 186, I asked him to run through his top 3 cards for me. And that's not an easy decision to make. As you can see here, he has a pretty amazing Sean Livingston collection. So as I play that audio for you, I'm going to try and give you some visuals as well, and I hope you enjoy. We spent all this time talking about your amazing Livingston collection, or maybe your LeBron's on there. I'm not going to spoil it here, but I'd like for you to do the same. Tell me about your 3 favorite cards and a little bit about how you acquired them. Let's start with number 3 and then work your way to number 1.
Okay, so my top 3, I'm going to keep in with Livingston. And starting at number 3, I have the 2003-04 Topps Finest Gold Refractor XRC out of 25.
Okay.
So that'd be my number 3.
Can you explain the XRC to people real quick?
So the way that worked in 2003-04 Topps Finest, there would be draft pick numbered cards that would be inserted into those packs that would have to be redeemed the following year to get the card of the next year's draft. And so for this, and the cards of those are really cool too, because if they were refractors, the whole card shined. It was a really cool card. And there were expiration dates. I believe they were in 2006 on those cards. I could be wrong, but I think it's 2006. So to actually obtain one of those XRCs, there were a lot of hoops that you had to jump through. You had to first get the card. You had to mail it in. You had to mail it in before the expiration date. So there's no guarantee, if you open it late, like it's one of those things that you might be out of luck. But then you have to get the card in, and then it's just a whole process that you hope it's in good condition and all that kind of stuff because it's being mailed back and forth. And so I saw that pop up on eBay a couple years ago, and I've been always looking for one of those. I just, being that it's out of 25, it might as well be out of 5 because you just don't see them pop up because a lot of people set collect that year for Topps Finest, and they're just beautiful cards. So when I saw that one pop up, it was one that it was kind of like, I have to have this card. I don't care what it takes. I'll let go of cards that I deem PC cards if it means I can get this one. And luckily I won it. And yeah, that's my number 3.
All right. So number 2.
Number 2 and number 1 were kind of tough because I didn't know how to split it because they're kind of 2 different cards, but they both fulfill to what I would believe to be the best card, either parallel or, memorabilia cards. But I struggled with it. But I put number 2, I put 0405 Topps Chrome Superfactor 101, which is his rookie card. And that was kind of a crazy story, a very stressful story because so I was notified by Mike Iverson Memorabilia and on Instagram, and then Chatri, who actually he just had on, I believe it was last week for the previous show, and his Instagram is Wade_Zoe. And I remember getting messages from both of them saying, "Hey, look what just popped up on Facebook on the comments thread." Not even as a post; it was just in the thread of comments saying, like, "Hey, I got one of these too. Check it out." And somebody was trying to sell a couple of those 0405 Superfactors, and just in the comments. This guy named Alan, who I went back and forth with many times, great guy, said, yeah, he pulled this card back in the day and he just always hung on to it. He never put it, he never showed it to anybody really. He never sold it. He just kept it for all these years. And prior to messaging him, prior to actually interacting with him, when I saw that, I was like, I have to have it. So I went onto the threads. I messaged them. I saw very quickly that there were other people also trying to get that card. And a lot of that doubt kind of set in of, I don't know if it's going to work out. Like this might just be one of those cards where you have to say, you know what, you can't have the world. You can have some things, but you can't have everything. And I just remember kind of obsessively, I messaged them on eBay. I messaged them on Instagram. I messaged them on Facebook Messenger. I messaged them on the comments. Kind of crazy, but I messaged him on all these different platforms, hoping that he would see it before accepting an offer from somebody else. And so I sat on that all night. The next morning, I got a response from him saying, hey, saw your collection. It's really awesome. Like, you know, he's not looking to move it, but for the right price, he would. And there were other people shooting him offers. And so he and I ended up talking on the phone. We worked out an agreement, and he, you know, very politely said that he would send me the card and accept payment, in chunks and different payments and over time. So it was a super awesome collector to collector transaction. And yeah, when it came in, it was like, how in the world did this just happen? It was like, that's a dream card for me anyway. So that was a super cool story, super cool. I think about the whole process that went into that card, as far as getting it and just how it had never surfaced anywhere and just all of a sudden just popped up. And it's almost like everything just, everything in the universe aligned just right for that card. But anyway, yeah, that's my number 2. And then,
Okay. Yeah. How do we top that?
so in my opinion anyway, some people are parallel guys and some people are the memorabilia guys. So that could be subjective, but for me, it's the 0607 dual logo man auto 101 for Exquisite. And it's with Corey Maggette and Sean Livingston. And so that came from a collector, Shinsuke, who's overseas. And I actually messaged him unrelated to the card because at the time I had no idea. He never posted it. He's never done anything with it. It was just his card that he had tucked away. He hadn't posted or anything. But I remember talking to him about, he's a really nice Ray Allen collection. And so we were talking about that. And then he said, what are the chances that you collect Sean Livingston? Like, check this out. And then he sent me the picture of that, and I was just blown away. I couldn't believe it. It was like, what are the chances? He's like, yeah, I pulled this card myself. And he had pulled a lot of really nice Exquisite cards prior to that too, including a 0304 Jordan 101 patch auto that he had sold to Spinatron. So he showed me that, and I kind of probably bugged him for 2 months about that card, and he was saying he wasn't looking to sell it yet, but if the time was right, he would let me know. And then I just kind of kept coming back saying like, hey, just checking in, like any chance you would move it. And then we worked out a deal on it. And that was one of the most exciting mail days ever because you have the rush of, negotiating. You have the thrill of the deal being accepted. Then you have the anxiety of the card being sent overseas that you have to wait for like a week. And then that final moment where it's out, in transit, out for delivery, and you're just like hoping to God they don't send it to the wrong house and then it just never surfaces.
Or get that, what is that, peach slip or pink slip on the door?
Yeah.
I hate those.
So yeah, you just hope that doesn't happen. And then got it in, opened it, and it was so cool. It was one of those dream come true cards where I'd been after a logo man for the longest time, and to have it be, an Exquisite dual logo man, what I would deem to be his best one because it's a game worn logo man as opposed to his 0405, which is rookie photo shoot. Yeah, it was so cool. So for me, that's the number 1.
Well, hopefully we can resurrect some more of those rare Sean Livingstons that are out there. You've had some amazing luck. Now, I say luck, but really you put yourself in the position to take advantage of that luck too. Had you not been so proactive in networking and being on these, message board or not message boards, but social media and everywhere, that wouldn't have all come to be. So kudos to you for putting yourself in the right spot for that.